went on, and a deafening roar erupted as a dozen colleagues cheered underneath a banner saying, "Welcome back." Calderwood came towards him with a big grin on his face, and McCord needed all his inner strength not to punch him. What the hell had the moron been thinking of? Giving him the fright of his life simply because he had been on leave for a couple of weeks? McCord only just managed to compose himself and force a smile onto his face while he was waiting for his heartbeat to return to normal. Calderwood grabbed his hand and shook it. "Good to have you back, sir. How was the re-education programme?" "I am traumatised for life," McCord replied, noticing D.C. Sutton near the wall, as far away from the others as possible, and looking decidedly uncomfortable. By now, McCord was quite moved by this unexpected show of affection. "Where is Superintendent Gilchrist?" he asked. He wouldn't like this one little bit. The super and the detective shared an intense and entirely mutual dislike. Gilchrist had made McCord take leave after the last, somewhat disastrous investigation, and had enrolled him on a program of courses with the aim to examine his subconscious prejudices, in particular his attitude to social diversity and authority. If the super had been out for revenge, he had succeeded. The courses had been more torturous for McCord than scouring the Edinburgh underworld for hardened criminals. "He is at headquarters today," Calderwood reassured him. "That's a good start to the week," McCord said. "And now back to work, everybody. And if any of you ever leave your computer screens unsecured again, I'll send you on one of those courses." Back in their office, McCord immediately noticed the azalea that had been a present from journalist and would-be detective Amy Thornton. He had almost killed it by drowning, but Calderwood must have nursed it back to health during his absence because it was bursting with delicate pink flowers. He found himself wondering when he would see Amy again. "Has our inimitable Miss Thornton been in at all while I was away?" McCord asked casually. "No, not once." Was he imagining things, or did Calderwood sound miffed that Amy hadn't been in to see him? "Well, judging by past experience, the next murder will send her hurrying into the station," McCord said. "Now, tell me what's been happening. How did you get on with the DI who covered for me?" "She was fine." McCord grinned. "Of course she was. No woman can resist your upper-class charm, and even if she could, she would not mess with the son of a high court judge." Calderwood rolled his eyes. "Oh, how I missed your banter, sir. Yes, she was just great. If I'd had a DI like her in Glasgow, I would still be there." "That reminds me," McCord said, grinning. "There was a guy on the course I was on who used to work with you. Frankie somebody. He remembers you fondly." Calderwood's handsome face contorted. "Frank Sinclair," he spat. "He was one of those who made my life a misery there. Whenever there was a call out, he'd say, 'You'd better let us deal with it. Glasgow is a tough place to work for a pretty posh boy.' Or something to that effect. Well, he commiserated me on having to work with you. I think he used the words overprivileged wet rag." Seeing Calderwood turn crimson, McCord lifted his hands. "His words, not mine. If you ask me, he is only jealous, ugly peasant that he is." Calderwood could not help but smile. "And what did you say?" "I said that for a pretty posh boy, you were shaping up to be quite a decent detective." While they were working through the slowly diminishing piles of paperwork, Calderwood laughed at some of McCord's anecdotes of the superintendent making his life a misery. "But," McCord said, "you are still Gilchrist."